Hello everyone. Over the past few days, people have been talking non-stop about this discovery of a city supposedly found beneath the Giza pyramids using radar waves. The news and pictures have flooded social media. In short, a few days ago, a press conference was held in Italy, where a group of researchers announced that they had discovered an entire city beneath the pyramid of Khafre. They claimed they found giant columns directly under the pyramid and secret chambers buried kilometers underground. Honestly, every now and then we hear theories like this. Hypotheses about tunnels under the Giza plateau, hidden rooms beneath, the Sphinx and so on. This isn't the first time we've heard something like this, but this time it's different. It's causing a massive stir, and the whole world is talking about it. So what's the truth behind this discovery? Why is it making such a huge fuss? And most importantly, is it actually real? Hey everyone, I'm Adam. Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified about our videos as soon as they drop. On March 15, 2025, 3 researchers held a press conference in Italy. Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa, Armando May from the University of Naples, and Filippo Biondi from the University of Strathclyde in Scotland. They said they'd been working on a project related to the Pyramid of Khafre for a while. They used an advanced scanning technique called synthetic aperture radar, or SAR for short, to study the pyramid and the surrounding area. This technique relies on satellites to study any object on Earth remotely, without needing to be physically near it. It's commonly used for geographic surveys, aerial imaging, and things like that. This was supposedly the first time it was used for archaeological exploration. Here's the kicker. They studied the Pyramid of Khafre from Italy without traveling to Egypt, getting permits or anything. All they needed was access to a satellite system that supports this tech. They used a satellite network called Cosmo SkyMed, operated by the Italian Space Agency, ASI, which consists of 4 satellites. Using these satellites, they directed radio waves at the Pyramid of Khafre, analyzed the data, and boom, here's the surprise. The research team claimed they discovered 8 massive cylindrical columns directly beneath the pyramid. Each column is over 600 meters tall, equivalent to a 200-story building. To put that in perspective, the Pyramid of Khafre itself is only 140 meters tall, meaning these columns are 4 times its height. They also said the columns are split evenly into 2 groups of 4, and beneath them is a huge hollow chamber about 80 cubic meters in size. Each column supposedly has a spiral staircase-like structure winding around it, leading down to this secret chamber. The chamber and columns connect to a structure extending over 2 kilometers underground, plus a vast network of tunnels linking the 3 Giza pyramids, along with channels and waterways. Naturally, just like your reaction right now, everyone who heard this at the conference was stunned and amazed. We're talking about a discovery that could completely change how we view ancient Egyptian history. It opens the door to endless theories, like the idea that the pyramids were part of a mechanical energy generating system, not just tombs, or that secret chambers beneath them hold the treasures and documents of the ancient Egyptians, or even that a civilization predating the ancient Egyptians built these massive underground structures, and the Egyptians came later and built on top of them. You can say whatever you want at this point, but before we get too excited and dive into these endless theories, we need to pause and ask, are these claims solid? Because everything hinges on that. To cut to the chase, the study announced by these Italian researchers has some serious question marks. Why do we say that? First off, the results they presented at the conference have no published research paper to back them up. As of today, the study hasn't been published in any scientific journal, meaning no experts have peer-reviewed their claims or even seen the details of the study. On top of that, one of the weirdest things is that if you trace the original source of the images they shared, it leads back to a Facebook profile of one of their buddies who posted the results there first. Yes, that's right. A Facebook profile. You can check it out for yourself. This lacks even the most basic standards of professional scientific publishing. Plus, the universities these researchers are affiliated with aren't backing the study either. The websites of the University of Pisa and the University of Strathclyde have no statements about this research. They're completely ignoring it, while they cover other, far less significant topics. This suggests even their own institutions aren't taking it seriously, which should be the most enthusiastic platforms for such a study. Now about the method they used. Although they're keeping the study's details under wraps, the broad strokes they've shared have drawn objections from many researchers. The study relies heavily on synthetic aperture radar, as we mentioned, claiming it allowed them to detect columns and structures deep beneath the pyramid of Khafre. The problem is, this technology can only penetrate solid ground to a depth of a few dozen meters at best, not 600 meters or 2 kilometers as they're claiming. That's just not realistic with this tech. Many experts have called this out. Lawrence Conyers, a professor at the University of Denver and a specialist in geological radar, told the British newspaper Daily Mail that these claims are highly doubtful. He said radar pulses can't penetrate the Earth's layers that deeply, and described the whole thing as wildly exaggerated. Even stranger, two of the researchers behind this study, Corrado Malanga and Filippo Biondi, published a paper in 2022 about the Pyramid of Khufu in the journal Remote Sensing. In the abstract, they explicitly stated that SAR waves are weak at penetrating solid objects. So how can they claim 3 years later that they've unlocked the secrets of the pyramids with the same technology they said doesn't work for that purpose? It's a head-scratcher. And here's another layer. Corrado Malanga, the lead researcher, is a chemistry professor, but his personal beliefs clash heavily with scientific rigor. For example, he's a firm believer in alien abductions, that extraterrestrials helped build structures on Earth, and in ideas like stargates for traveling between galaxies, hypnosis, and other esoteric pseudoscience. This isn't just gossip. He's written multiple books on these topics. Because of this, many in the scientific community are wary of his research. So, if this study about the Pyramid of Khafre is so shaky and full of red flags, why has it blown up like this? We can boil it down to 3 reasons. First, the team announced their findings in a press conference, inviting journalists and media from all over, not specialists. Non-experts are easily wowed and spread the word, which is exactly what they wanted. If they'd invited experts, there'd have been debate, and the story might have died down. Second, despite the issues surrounding them, Malanga and Biondi have credibility from their 2022 remote sensing study, where they confirmed hidden chambers and passages in the Pyramid of Khufu, results that aligned with the Scan Pyramids project, a legit effort by researchers from Cairo University, Japan, Germany, Canada, France, and the US. We covered that in our episode, Discovery of a Secret Passage Inside the Pyramid of Khufu. So these guys have done real solid work before, which gives their voices some weight now. Finally, a lot of people don't buy that the pyramids were just tombs. They want to believe they served some grander purpose. This story fits that narrative perfectly, so it's spread like wildfire, mostly among non-experts. Here's an important note. It's not unusual for there to be chambers or voids beneath the pyramids. Archaeologists don't deny that. The issue is the exaggeration of this discovery scale, plus the lack of a peer-reviewed paper, and the fact that their own universities are distancing themselves from it. We're not completely dismissing the study, but claims this big need rock-solid evidence. In the realm of hypotheses, anything's possible. Maybe the pyramids were energy generators built by a pre-Egyptian civilization. Who knows? But whoever makes such a claim needs to bring the receipts. Either way, time will tell. Today's news costs money, but tomorrow it's free. If this turns out to be legit and worth an episode, we'll cover it. That's it, folks. Who made it to the end? You're the real MVPs. Drop us a like before you go so we know how many of you stuck around. And if you got ideas for future episodes, leave them in the comments. See you.